Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're going to be taking a look at setting up a console for your live stream through Streamyard. In order to do this, we'll need a capture card, either internal or external. This here is an internal capture card made by AverMedia. We'll be looking at different brands and stuff like that and talking about what kind of capture card you'll need for your specific application. After that, we'll set up our capture card with our console so you can capture that console gameplay and stream it through Streamyard. Let's go ahead and cue that transition and get started. I want to say thank you before we get started for choosing us in this channel and specifically this video for learning about this setup process with Streamyard. Before we begin, I do want to say that there's going to be a lot of technical terms that I throw at you in this video. I just want to ask you to bear with me as we work through those technical terms and we define those terms in order to get us from point A to point B, which is streaming our gaming console gameplay through Streamyard. The first set of terms I'm going to throw at you are internal and external capture cards. Internal cards will be installed inside of your computer using a PCIe slot or a graphics card slot that is on your motherboard. If you don't know what that is, then it's probably better that you just stick with an external capture card. An external capture card does not get installed in your PC. Instead, it just hooks up to your PC using a USB cable, and then you have a set of HDMI cables to connect your console to the external capture card, and then connect that capture card to your monitor or TV where you're going to be playing your console gameplay. The biggest difference between an internal capture card and an external capture card are the quality and the portability. The internal capture cards have to be installed inside of your desktop computer. That means you can't really use it with a laptop or a portable computer. The reason being is because, well, for one, they're actually rather large and it has to be installed onto a PCIe slot within your motherboard on your computer. If you don't know what that is, then, in all honesty, you probably just should stick with an external card. The biggest benefit of using an internal capture card is the lower latency video input. It's almost 1 millisecond in time for that console to display through the computer and onto the monitor with that pass-through technology and that internal capture, making it really easy to set up when you're setting up your stream. However, the setup and installation process is not as user-friendly as an external card. External capture cards, although they are slower with the video feed and the latency of the video capture, they are portable, and you're also able to use them with portable computers. You don't have to use it with a desktop computer. You can bring it with you on the go and use it with any portable computer that you have. All you need is those HDMI cables and the USB cable that connects to the capture card and to the computer. Now let's talk about what capture card you should be looking at for yourself. If you're leaning towards the internal capture card route, you're going to want to make sure you get a gaming capture card in order to get that pass-through technology. Otherwise, you're going to be using a, capture card like I'm using for my camera right now, which only has the video feed internally. It doesn't pass through the card and to the monitor so that you can play your video games. So it's very important that you're getting a capture card that has pass-through capabilities. So if you're leaning towards that internal route, make sure you are checking out the Elgato or AverMedia capture cards. I do suggest that you get the AverMedia Live Gamer capture cards. It's what I use when I'm using a pass-through internal capture card. However, the Elgato capture cards are a lot more user-friendly and easier to set up. In this video, I'm going to be using an AverMedia capture card, so don't get confused when we go to the setup portion because the setup is very similar. If you're leaning to an external capture card, I'm going to suggest the same two brands. You have Elgato or AverMedia, depending on what you want. You can get the Elgato HD60 or the HD60 Plus, or you can get the Live Gamer HD on the AverMedia side. Alright, so what I have here is my PS3. I have two HDMI cables and I have a internal capture card that I'm using as an example here. So what we're going to do here is take one of these HDMI cables and we're gonna plug this into our PS3. The other end of this cable is gonna go to the HDMI input on the capture card. This is what that looks like. Then what we're gonna do is take the other HDMI cable and we'll hook that up to this end of the capture card. Now keep in mind this capture card will be inside of my computer. I'm just doing this as an example. And then the other end of this HDMI is going to be plugged into my TV or monitor. And what that's going to do is output the video feed from my console here through the capture card to my monitor so that I can play the game. But not only that, the capture card is going to be able to capture that video feed so that we can set it up on Streamyard in order to stream. Now I have everything set up. I have my capture card installed and I set it up just like I showed you a moment ago. I did have to adjust a setting on my PlayStation. Actually, I needed to go into my PlayStation prior to hooking it up to the capture card and turn off HDCP, which can be found in the settings within the system menu. The reason that is because without turning that off, the capture card was unable to capture it. And I believe the Xbox has the same setting. So whether you're using a PlayStation or an Xbox, you might want to check and see if you need to turn off the HDCP setting prior to trying to connect it to your capture card. Now that I'm on StreamYard, what I'm going to do is go over to my cam and mic settings. Under the camera, I'm actually going to switch it over from my webcam over to the AverMedia capture card. This will be the PlayStation here, and I'm going to go ahead and enter the studio. From here, I'm going to add the PlayStation into the stream, and what you're looking at here is actually that HDCP setting that I just turned off, so I can show you how I got there. It is in the system settings under settings on your console. But what you can see here is I have my console successfully set up within StreamYard, and I'm ready to click that go live button and start streaming. I hope this video helped you set up your capture card for yourself. I did want to mention one more thing before we sign off here. If you're using that pass-through capability, you're most likely going to need a second monitor, as one monitor will be used for your gaming console so that you can play your game, and the other will be used from your desktop so that you can actually control your computer and see the chat window and all that stuff within StreamYard. I want to thank you so much for watching this video, and that's going to complete this tutorial. Catch you in the next one. Peace.